Hello everyone and welcome to iCompute US. In this video demonstration, I'm going to be using a simple test case to go through the iSpec form and generate a Dockerfile, which might make it easier for you to use that with your own software. Let's go ahead and log in first. There are two basic ways to log into iCompute. The first one would be to create your own account using your email account. And the second one would be to log in with CI logon, which is basically the case for any university or research accounts. I'm going to log in with CI logon because my credentials are already in there. And once we're in, we're going to head over to the iSpec tab. Once we click on there, we're going to be redirected to a different page where the iSpec form is displayed and all the necessary input fields for generating a Docker file are shown. First up, we're going to upload any software packages or the software source code that we have that will be needed for generating our Docker file. I'll be using a Fortran code in this case. So let's go ahead and upload that. Once we're done uploading, this part is going to be automatically linked with the folder that we just uploaded. Then we're going to pick a base image. I'm going to go with this one. And next we pick the programming language that our software is in and pick that. If your software uses different files with different programming languages, feel free to select multiple ones. I'm going to leave the working directory as is because that is the location where all the setup or installation commands are run relative to that specific path, and I'm fine with this location. Environment variables, my program and software does not use any environment variables per se, so I'm going to leave this one empty and move on to the copy file section. Here I'm going to specify the file that I have as well as the location that I want it copied to. This basically means it is being copied from the uploaded folder to the working directory on the image. Next, we have advanced copy. This is an added facility for utilizing different modes of copying. You can have three different use cases. The first one would be a web file download where you specify the URL for that specific file and it pulls it from there. The second one would be copying files using regex matches as shown here. And the third one would be the use of simplified decompression of tar files. Expose ports and volumes, since my software does not require the use of these, I'm going to leave these both empty. There are no ports to be exposed in my test case software and no volumes to be mounted. I'm going to move on to the setup or installation commands. Here we're going to include any commands that are used for running the prerequisite packages as used in a fresh installation of your own software. I'm going to start by updating and then getting the compilers needed. Next, you'll see the entry and the execution command. There's the notion of entry and a default command. The entry command is optional, but if provided, it is fixed and cannot be overridden at runtime. This command would be the first command that is run when your Docker image is run as a container. The default command, which is specified in this page as the execution command, is also optional, but if provided, it is the default command that is run when the container runs, and the command will run after the entry command has run. In case there is no entry command provided, the default command would be the first one to run. It should be noted that unlike the entry command, the default command can be overridden at runtime by passing command line arguments through the docker run command. You can choose to provide an entry command only or a default command only, or both entry command and default command in sync. Since my software does not require the use of entry command either, I'm going to leave this empty and move on to the execution or the default command. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to move on to whether I want to publish the image to Docker Hub or not. If I say yes, I'm going to have to provide my username and the token, and the image will be pushed to that associated Docker Hub account. In this case, I'm just going to select no for the sake of simplicity. It's just going to send me an email to download the image along with any associated files and the instructions to run it. I'll also get an email if I select yes and do provide the username and token. So it's totally up to the user what they want. Lastly, it's going to ask us to pick a license. This is optional, but if you do need to specify a license with your image, you should select a license. I'm going to go ahead and pick one. Once I select it, depending on the license, it might ask us for some more further user input that is going to be associated with the license and make it more personalized. I'm going to put it today's date. And when we're done, we can go ahead and click generate Dockerfile, and it's going to show us the completed YAML file, which is used to generate the Dockerfile in the background. If you notice any changes that you would like to make, or if you put in something incorrectly, feel free to go back to the iSpec tab and restart the process. In the meanwhile, the system will be running to build the Docker image, the Dockerfile, and all the necessary files, and it's going to send us an email soon. Once we're done, we can open our email. And as you can see, I just got an email. And it's going to be in this form. The sender is going to be icomputeus@gmail.com. And it has 4 attachments, which is the README, which includes a set of instructions to build the image according to your needs, a license, which we just personalized as the last step, a Docker file that was made in connection with the YAML file that was shown to us, as well as a vulnerability analysis. It's going to show us if we can improve our base image by avoiding any unnecessary vulnerabilities. Feel free to take a look. And in the email content itself, it's going to show us some basic instructions, how to load the Docker image and how to run it. That's it for now. I hope you understood. Thank you so much.